the recover from this.
Test.
I'm never gonna manage to recover from this.
What's going on, everyone? Coach Carrick here, Flexbone 101. Figured we'd do a little more video editing. I'll answer some questions and hang out. I'm gonna sit here and give this like 10 seconds for the stream to catch up to make sure all the audio is coming through correctly, so don't mind me for half a second. Let's see. Okay, I think I had 2 microphones active, so I'm hoping that will fix this. So, if it's still a little echoey outside of the fact if it sounds like I'm in an empty room, I can live with that. If it sounds like I have 2 microphones on, let me know. Hopefully that should show up in the chat. Otherwise, like I mentioned, I am going to... What am I doing today? Already lost my train of thought. Oh, right. Doing some video editing. I'm going to take a recommendation from someone who was a viewer recently, and I'm going to look at Georgia Tech and the Citadel, you know, for that sweet... what do you call it? Flexbone Revenge? I don't know. There's probably a name for that. But what a few things stream-wise. I don't know if these are going to come through correctly, but I learned how to turn my touch bar on my MacBook into like a soundboard, so I can play sights and sounds, and I'm gonna cheat and look on my phone again to make sure that these come through, because I spent way too much time trying to set these up. So if I can hit the button,
Hello? You play to win the game.
I don't know if these are going to come through correctly, but I learned how to turn... Now I'm gonna check, sorry. Slightly boring start. One moment. Give me 1 second. If these work, I'll be so happy. So if I can hit the button. Okay, it's not perfect, but it works. So now I've got some fun GIFs and sounds I can deal with. So if you're asking me questions, oh, I already have a dislike. That's probably my friends knowing my friends. Otherwise, you know, maybe it's just because I was trying to make sure my things work. So I guess for my 1 dislike, I can play my...
Thoughts and prayers.
We can do some T&P for my 1 dislike. Either that or someone is a Georgia Tech fan and maybe they are upset. So if you didn't watch me do this last time, first half is me basically just not really analyzing anything, just cutting up all the offensive film into the individual plays. And then the second half of it is me actually trying to figure out what the plays are, talking through it, and hopefully it's some modicum of correct and interesting. If you want to watch, great. That would be super fun. If not, well, I don't know. You can do whatever you want. The chat should still play on the video. I can see the chat on my second monitor. I don't know. We'll see. This we'll let it rip. Now I'm going to be more concerned about my soundboard and trying to get that to work than the video themselves. The people who watched the last video I did, you know, I got that up like that same night. So it's interesting. Everything's a little bit different. Oh, this is going to be so weird trying to break down a team that's not Georgia Tech. I'm gonna screw this up at least 3 times. So I'll just apologize for that now. If you're watching on Twitch, I think I put everything that I'm using in my info panel as far as like software and, you know, my OnlyFans Lite and whatever else we're doing. So if you have any large urge, typically as far as the raw film, I am getting raw film, right? Getting it from another YouTube streamer, getting the raw footage, and then that's what I'm using to make the cuts. So otherwise, I'm just in a program called Camtasia, which thank you to my full-time employer, I have access to. And if I recall, I don't think this is a spoiler alert since this game happened, I think about a year ago. But the Citadel comes out and actually wins this game, which should be some sweet revenge here. So while we're watching, you know, it's, what is it, Tuesday. Let's, we got a punt here. Man, I couldn't even tell you what Georgia Tech's running now. Ugh, can't watch. But they go 3rd down, 4th down, punt. Perfect. All right, so what was I babbling on about? Tuesday, just started raining in Chicago. Thank you to Coach Smith in the chat. It's my favorite offense. I sort of played in it in high school, not really. But then again, that was the early 2000s, and well, I won't go into my high school playing experience. But I started coaching this offense in a sort of bastardized version early on, learned to love it, started making these videos just as a way to learn the offense, and I guess that's how we're here. Oh, so Johnny, sorry, now I'm getting distracted by the chat. This is fun though. Double wing teams. Double wing is an offense that is almost more of a cult than Flexbone is. The only difference is they're generally, and God, I don't know if I'm going to piss anyone off by saying this, they're a lot more protected in their information. You know, it's much harder to find playbooks. People don't really like to let you in their club unless you're running it. So it does look a lot like Flexbone, but you're going to get a lot of different looks. You'll get a lot more tight end. You'll get a lot of almost more wing T concepts of, you know, like a strong and a quick side and pulling 2 linemen and influence pulling, I think. I can't say I've done... There was a period where I was really interested just to kind of learn more and had some trouble finding info. I actually had someone reach out to me recently. Shoot, speaking of which, now that I'm thinking about it, I might have to get back to an email to someone. Oops, I hate when that happens. Let's see. Oh man, GT Minnesota from 2018. That was a while ago. That was the bowl game. Was that the Motor City Bowl? I can't remember if I almost went because I was nearby. Well, at least my hometown. Do I have any thoughts? And sorry, I keep realizing I'm looking to the right. I have what I'm seeing that you're seeing is immediately in front of me, and my second monitor that has everything up has the chat and everything else. So, let's see. Do you have any thoughts on having the tackles do an outside step instead of an inside step on triple? I know Paul Johnson did it later at GT a lot, claimed it made the key easier to read. So you will see Paul Johnson, and if you're watching Navy, I guess I can probably cut this up while I'm talking. As far as the outside step, there are some defensive formations that either based on the formation or how that read is playing, that you could have that tackle outside release. I think a big one is if that defensive end or whoever the read is not taking the dive, if he is trying to just read your tackle, if your tackle comes out and the guy comes out with him and then the B-back can run underneath, I think that's probably a best case scenario. When do we like to do it? We like to do that against 4-3, which we don't see of a lot. I'm only trying to remember like our playbook, and I have been slacking since we don't play until February, that I haven't looked at it as recently as I probably should have. But it's definitely a game you can play, especially if they're trying to read your tackle and you can get more than one defensive player to flub an assignment or overcommit one way or another by releasing the tackle outside. I think that's it's a tool in the toolbox. I think it's not something you need to do every play, but at the same time, if that defensive end is keying the tackle and coming down on dive, I don't think giving him an easier path to do that is necessarily always a good idea, but it depends how he's playing it. I realize that's probably more information on an outside release from the tackle than you were probably looking for. I think mid-triple is another play where that works really well. Yeah, if you don't have to block them, don't. I mean, that's usually the best rule of thumb. I guess that's kind of a flex bone cliche, but it makes sense in a lot of ways. Oh, all right. Well, that's a first touchdown. That'll be fun to watch. I know one thing my head coach has been interested in, and we've both kind of been talking about, is just different passing combinations, different play action looks, just something new. We tend to have a lot of passing plays, but only call a few when we actually need them. We just have our ones that we're very confident in, whether that's based on the play design, whether that's based on the player getting it. Oh, Citadel got the ball back. All right. We've had some really good quarterbacks. Ooh, over. No, this is not over. I guess it's probably worth mentioning, this is the first time I've ever watched a Citadel game, or I should, broken it down in this way. So once we get to the play and the formation standpoint, you might see me scratching my head or even asking, trying to figure out what they're doing, if they're doing anything too crazy. West Coast passing plays. I think there's a lot of really good concepts that can be brought in from, West Coast, from air raid. Some of it depends on your protection, obviously. But then you have your tried and true concepts that just kind of always work. Your smashes, your post wheel. At least at the lower levels of high school, I used to run 4 verts a lot, and we'd always just train our quarterback, right? Like stare down one A-back and then throw it to the other. And against a 1 high safety look, especially at a lower, JV or varsity level, no single high safety is going to be able to be disciplined enough to read it. And they weren't. So we won a lot of games at that level that we had no business winning, especially with the number of dudes and amount of talent that we had. So weird not breaking down Georgia Tech. Which I'm sad Tech went away from the flexbone. I think it suited them as being, an academic institution, being able to be not like the service academies, right? But if you're going to try to compete with those academics at a high level against like Georgia, your in-state rival, you kind of need something. You need something, right? And I think the flexbone gave that to Georgia Tech for a long time. I mean, I hope they do well. Just in general, I've spent enough time watching film on them. But, the only reason they're in this video is because they got beat. Let's see. Classic run and shoot. Shoot bone. Do I think Paul Johnson gets back into coaching at some point? Maybe. I think, I don't know him super well, even as like a coach, and I don't know him personally. But I would imagine he's done a lot. And if he doesn't feel like he has anything else he needs to prove to people, I don't know if he'll come back. It would probably take the right situation. You don't want to walk into a nightmare situation. He's not going to go to a place like, here's another chance for me to get in trouble. He's not going to go to a place like Rutgers, right? And try to make Rutgers, from what they are now to, some type of flexbone powerhouse. I really thought Oregon State, the last couple times they've had a vacancy, probably could have gone flexbone. I think, if you wanted to talk about like Nebraska getting back to kind of more option football, they would be a good candidate. Look at, Kansas. Basically anyone that is not a traditional powerhouse that probably plays in a bigger conference that is a perennial doormat probably could benefit from going to the flexbone. Any type of G5 team, I think, probably benefits from it. But it's, I don't know, that's an ongoing conversation. Let's see. Yes. It is easier to get the pieces to run a flexbone offense. I've never recruited at the college level. I don't know how hard it would be to get kids to actually, want to come play for it. If you're a guy that wants the ball and you're not selfish and, you can get a good stable of running backs that are going to be strong runners, I think you might struggle at the wide receiver position. You got to find guys like Demarius Thomas, who actually played at Georgia Tech, or in the Paul Johnson era, or someone like the first person I always think of when it comes to wide receiver blocking is like Hines Ward, right? You need to take great pride in your blocking to know that, hey, if you block really hard, like you're going to get these wide open, just 80-yard plays. So that could be a tough sell. There's a point I wanted to make in the system. So Johnny said about if teams are super athletic or know what they're doing, it can be hard. And that's the case about any defense though, right? It's the same thing where people try to argue like flex bone teams, right? Like if you're third and long, like you're going to have a low percentage because you can't throw the ball. And it's like most teams have low third down percentages, even teams that can run the ball or can throw the ball or are used to throwing the ball. I think it's a little bit of a misnomer, right? Like if you watch some of those Georgia Tech Clemson games or Georgia Tech Georgia games where they're just dominant and you're like, yeah, you can have all the talent in the world, but at the end of the day, like their 11 dudes are better than your 11 dudes, you're going to lose a lot of the time. Air Force is a team now that due to COVID, have some more, have some more time on my hands. I'd like to watch more Air Force. I know they've gotten away from some of the like core flex bone stuff. But I think what they're innovating is always interesting to see. As a coach, sometimes I get a little nervous watching that because then it's like, oh, we could run that. But running things at the high school level is way different when you have to manage how much practice time do you have and how expensive of an install certain things are. There's definitely things that we see from option teams, Matt, my head coach, and I, that we see that we like to do and try to incorporate. But the question is always like, is it really worth it? Oh, this is bad camera. I hate when this happens. Yeah, exactly. I agree with Coach Smith. Good defenses are good defenses. And the best thing you can do, at some point, I've been wanting to make a video on like, we talked a little bit recently about like the garbage defenses you see. But when it comes to play calling, right, like flip side of that. Wanted to make a video not so much on any particular defense, but like, hey, if you're playing an option team, like these are things you should look at, or these are things that like you can do. So almost like having your own if-then sheet, right? Like outside of like if their 11 dudes are better than your 11 dudes, that, if they're always having the same responsibilities, right? Like the defensive end is always responsible for dive. Okay, well, how do you take advantage of that? How do you take advantage of a team that is blitzing heavily? How do you take advantage of a team that is running multiple stunts and confusing your offensive line? There's a lot of things like that. I almost might want to run that by some defensive coaches first, just because I can only talk about what frustrates me as an offensive coach. Yeah, so for defenses, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be... Oh, shoot, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, YouTube Studio. Shoot, what was I going to say about that? Totally lost my train of thought. Apologies. Georgia Tech did beat a lot of great defenses they shouldn't have. I think there's a difference between whether the actual talent is better or whether they're coached better. Because you can have a good defensive game plan with worse players and still be all right. Part of me always worries when I make one of those, or if I were to make a video like that, it's going to be used against me. But I don't trust a lot of the defensive coordinators to be able to take and implement anything I might say at our level. The teams that have good defenses, and they already have their plan. And then the teams that we roll up on. And I don't think watching a 15-minute video I put together is going to fix that. It was quite sad. We would have opened up the season on Friday against a team I think we beat like 55-0 last year. So it's sad. For those of you that are still coaching, I am insanely jealous. It's tough not to be coaching at the moment. I think I had an Instagram story pop up of like, the coin toss from our first game last year. And it made me a little depressed. Yeah. As far as making a fake one, that would be entertaining. We're doing, let's see. I don't know. I can have an excuse to use one of these. Let's try that one.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
One of my favorite just favorite sports quotes in general. I also realized after I played that I probably need to clip that down a little bit, but oops, it's still worth it. I switched to... True, Johnny. Never forget that Mike Leach called chewing clock defensive propaganda, then lost. Mike Leach, even though I think we call and enjoy polar opposite offensive philosophies, is one of my favorite coaches to just watch, learn from, watch his press conferences. I'm quite excited to see what he does down in Starkville, Clang'a, which I don't know who I'm going to root for in that Egg Bowl now, because between him and Lane Kiffin, the meme potential is just so high for that game. It's funny how Lane Kiffin has redeemed himself in the eyes of a lot of college football fans. I don't think I have any Tennessee fans, at least as close friends. That is true. I will totally agree with that point, Johnny, that Flexbone and wing tee and air raid and run and shoot are the same thing on the opposite ends of the spectrum. It's, I guess when I was growing up, they always preached, you want to be balanced, or, you want to run to open up the pass, or pass to open up the run. I think we've seen, I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that anymore. Right, as a flexbone team, like in my perfect world, I'm running triple 100% of the time. And there are situations where you're always going to have to throw, but if you're constantly chewing clock and having long drives and getting 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, why stop? Who did I hear from? There's like, when you throw the ball, there are 3 outcomes and 2 of them are bad. I think that's a fairly good assessment, although I guess you can make the claim with running the ball, you can fumble it. Although I feel like that's usually a self-mistake as opposed to a really good play by the defense. Man, that was a quick first half. Either that or I completely messed up cutting up this video. which is totally within the realm of possibility. It's, that is a good point about the limited number of plays that you run over and over on the if-then mentality. I guess I hadn't really thought too much about that, but it's true. And I agree about making them see all aspects, making them respect all aspects. But there is something really, I don't know, call it nice, call it egotistical of like, I'm going to run the ball, you know I'm going to run the ball, and you still can't stop me. And then being able to have your, point counterpoints for each one of those kind of options to be able to continue to run the ball. So saying like, I'm only doing one of these two, but then being able to then throw the ball effectively when you have to, right? Like, a team has to sell out on the run. But if you can't run, obviously that's not going to open up the pass for you. It's I've talked to a few of our guys. I don't know how much longer our kids are going to wind up being their, let's see, they have it broken up by grade. And so they are in the building 2 days a week. And I have no idea how long that's going to continue for or if they go full remote and how that would impact us starting practice in mid-February. Oh, all right. 2-point attempt by Georgia Tech. I have no idea how winter football in Illinois is going to go. So it's going to be, like I said, I think I mentioned on the stream last week, my in-laws got me a nice pair of Carhartt bibs that will be getting ample opportunity to be used in the winter. As I'm doing this, one thing I haven't thought about is how that would impact all of our technology and making sure like headsets work and Huddle works, and it's just one more aspect that is going to make things difficult in the spring, because I know it's usually a pain, but in playoffs, and in Chicago we have a prep bowl where after you lose in the playoffs, the Catholic schools and the public schools still have like their own NIT kind of tournament. I hope we'll be at an advantage. We face a lot of more spread RPO teams. Not that any of them are super good at it, but we should have a good squad. It's just going to be cold. I think that always impacts things, whether it's just how to get everything working, everything's kind of slower, kids complaining. My big upside is it means we'll probably get a nice coaching jacket out of it. Which, when you're playing in that cold of weather, should be nice. The nice thing about watching this Citadel game is I'm seeing it doesn't look like they're doing anything too insane, kind of sticking to the usual script. Then again, once I start watching it, that could be completely wrong. Yeah, teams with limited plays, I agree, and the cold weather will definitely be an advantage. I tried to be a, pre-flexbone, like true, well, even pre my weird version I did in Madison. It's hard to be a play caller in another offense when you're literally just grab bagging. Like, I don't know, let's try this. Like, there's no real rhyme or reason. It's kind of just based on intuition or whichever player, you want to feed the ball to. Especially in cold weather, I think that makes it harder. It's just one more aspect of having to remember every assignment and what you're supposed to do and what the timing is. Take a fleece and then throw a windbreaker over it. I might need to write that down. Oh, nice. Let's see. Like mid-February, what was... Here, now I'm gonna bother, or... what was I gonna do? Right, let's see what the weather was. Let's see when we start practice, but this past year. 2020. I'm an idiot. I forgot the word weather. I realize this is in no way interesting. Sorry. So February 15th is when we're starting this past year. High of 33, low of 7. So, all right, Johnny, see you later. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be, I guess now I actually got cold just thinking about the fact that it's a high of 33 when we're going to start practice. Hopefully we can get some indoor time. I've heard some rumors that might be the case. Otherwise, it's going to be a really interesting practice time. Trying to do that in the cold. And I don't know how that's going to impact, turnout for kids. I don't know how that's going to impact injuries. And it's just going to be a whole new experience doing things in February versus, August. And hoping that everything goes well. We've told our kids we've got a great opportunity, right? No one's kind of expecting anything. Ooh, I missed a first down somewhere. Here we go. Yep, we've got the Citadel game. I took your recommendation. I figured it's been on my list to do, and I've watched the Kennesaw State games. I wanted to get this one out of the way. I feel like it would be cathartic a little bit. And we're already, almost 3/4 of the way through it. I have no idea how this game went so fast, but as someone who's trying to cut this up and stream and hold conversations at the same time, I don't mind how fast it's going. We've just been hanging out, cutting up the film, talking about some Flexbone stuff, some Paul Johnson stuff. How's the season going to look here come February, at least in Illinois? I did not get a chance to watch the Central Arkansas game. I don't remember where that's played, but if I remember correctly, Central Arkansas's turf is striped purple and silver, because I think that went in like the 1 year I lived in Arkansas. It's the only reason I remember that. Go Bears. We'll see what's happening with college football. Well, and particularly like Big Ten football. I have no idea where we're going to land. All I know is I've waited a decade to go to Seattle to watch Michigan play Washington, or however long it was since that game was announced, and I didn't get to go, and that upsets me. I was dreaming of yacht gating for a decade, and I actually have friends there. Like, we were ready to go. That actually would have been this weekend. So our schedule just came out for the Nick 10. I'm not as familiar with the Nick 10. You might have to tell me where that is, or what I should be looking at. I know there's a few 7 games instead of 9. I'm guessing it's for some kind of playoff. Oh. Yeah, I think we're only playing 7 games in Illinois, and then they've said some sort of localized playoff, but haven't really given us much more information than that. I haven't heard anything about a potential schedule for us. I guess I just probably stupidly assumed it would just be the same one, but I guess it can't really be that way if we're doing fewer games. I just think there's going to be a lot of kids. You know, if they're any type of multi-sport athlete this year is going to make, it's going to be really hard for, you know, your kids that play hockey, your kids that do any type of travel sport in the spring. You know, I guess lacrosse would be on that list. Baseball's on that list. To see, you know, are kids going to play both seasons? Are there like club travel teams going to start, you know, at the normal time, and your kids are going to have to either pick or do double duty? I think it's really just going to be a rough situation. I don't think there's any real right answer. Obviously, like, I want my football kids to play football, but I'm sure, you know, if they're also 2-sport athletes and they also play baseball, their baseball coach wants them to play baseball. So I think we're supposed to like all try to get along and be supportive, but given this year and how crazy things have been, I don't know where that's going to end up. And / how parents are going to feel about that, you know, whatever the health ramifications are. You know, if kids are going and playing multiple sports and wearing their bodies down and traveling from place to place, team to team, I don't know how healthy necessarily that could be, but I don't know. Time will tell. But on the bright side, that means I have more time to do stuff like this. So I'm taking advantage of my small coaching break. But there's no doubt about I would rather be on the field. I am going to put the play information on this video. Just part of the process, I like to get all the offensive plays done first, because first half I can kind of just zone out and like get rid of all the stuff in between. And then I'll go back and look at all the plays and talk through kind of what I'm seeing, why I'm tagging things the way I am, kind of, you know, that part. I just need to get it in an easier format first so I can plow through those. That's a missed field goal. I, however, don't remember how this game ended. Oh, there's at least one more score. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear my Roomba yelling at me from upstairs. If it is coming through, that means my microphone is really sensitive, so I'll just apologize if that's the case. And let's see. I don't know. Do I have anything for apologize? I don't know. Screw it.
Hello? You play to win the game.
I'll have to think of something for apologize. Maybe it's more of a thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
All of a sudden, I'm going to be doing my own podcast. I just have huge envy of seeing the photos of Joe Rogan's podcast studio and wanting something even a fraction that cool. Instead, I've just got my work desk and a janky phone ring light and a small microphone. I did order a boom mic, so hopefully I can have it here so I don't have a weird thing in front of me. All more fun things to do when you're not traveling due to COVID and have a little extra money to play with. But there should be some other good stream and channel improvements that I've been working on that you should see in the next couple weeks. And I'm hoping, I've had a good time streaming. Since I get double the content, I get the actual video I'm producing and then the video of me producing the video. Which, I don't know, it's easy to make a video of what's normally the boring part of me, like sitting in my basement by myself, where I can just kind of ramble on about things. But it was pretty cool. I had someone else who's just starting out a football themed YouTube channel. Actually, speaking of which, here, I think this is what being a cool person entails. Let's do. Why can I not think of his channel? Yes. Okay. So Mike from Bird Blitz on YouTube reached out to me asking for some tips on video production and YouTube stuff, which this is all self-taught, but I figured I'd give him a shout out if you're interested. I think he does more defense, Philadelphia style. If you want to check him out, again, that's Bird Blitz. Appreciate him reaching out. It's always weird when people ask me my opinion on things like I'm an expert. I just kind of fumbled through this and was stubborn enough to keep doing it, even when people told me I sucked. Come on, where'd that go? There we go. Couldn't tell if there was something going on outside. Also, my puppy's curled up at my feet, so luckily he hasn't popped up or been loud and obnoxious. But if he hops up, well, shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but if someone starts showing up to the back door, he might start barking and going wild. They really kick this field goal? They do kick that field goal. All right. Again, I have not watched this game. I do know the outcome, so I'm going to guess Georgia Tech doesn't score here. But I don't know how fast or how close they get. So we got a first down, we've got a second down, we've got a third and long. We get a flag against Georgia Tech. So what is this? This is at like the 17. Oh, as time expires. Oh, we got a timeout. All right. So that's a timeout, nullifies a game-winning touchdown. We get another timeout. And I'm going to guess he shanks this. Oh, no, he does get it. Oh, this must go into overtime. Huh. I was wrong. Man, talking through this has been making me thirsty. Oh, right, college overtime. So there's no kickoff. Oh, Georgia Tech misses a field goal. All right, we can live with that. Made me worried for a while because I thought I knew the outcome of this game, and then when they scored, I wasn't sure that was going to be true. Luckily, it doesn't look like there's too much left of this. So then once I get these last couple plays cut up, then we can start looking at what the Citadel actually ran and talk a little bit about why they ran it and formations and whatnot, and have a grand old time. Yikes, that's a lot of plays in regulation. Man, they just ran forward 3 straight times, and are they kicking the field goal to win? And I'm going to guess the answer is yes. Yes. All right, so Citadel takes down Georgia Tech, final overtime. All right. First half of this part of the video is done. It only took me... I guess we flew through that. That was nice. When there's people chatting, this goes a lot faster. Hour and 20 minutes to cut that up. So not terrible, but I've definitely done faster. But then again, when you're talking and having a good time, I can totally live with that. So now we just got to get this part set up. I usually try to do it to the top of the scoreboard, although I don't know if that's going to be enough space. I'll go a little higher, and we'll just change the, what's that called? Oh, gross. This is shorter than it should be. Oh my God, my room is still going nuts. Let's make this 50%. And we're going to make this black and 50%. This is probably the time I'm supposed to tell you, like, don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube or Twitch. Twitch has been fun as a streaming platform. I know it's probably not as common, but I've watched a lot of video game streams. I think there's a few coaches that play a lot of Madden. I can't say I've played Madden since... God, I don't even know if I played that much in college. Maybe like 2006, 2007. Twitch is a good platform. People stream everything. If you're not aware. If I could get away with it, it would be great to like watch a game on Twitch and have everyone like chat and hang out, and we could watch like Navy. Although I'm pretty sure I'd get hit with copyright pretty quickly. Here, let's do a non-beer drink. All right, first play from scrimmage. We've got a nice tight formation. Oh, what do we got here? I can't tell if that was supposed to be a handoff or not. I have no idea if that was supposed to be like a key. Kind of looks like it's supposed to be a QB follow because everyone's just running forward. Actually, you know what? It's probably... I can't tell if the quarterback's trying to turn like he wants the ball. I'm going to call this zone dive. I'm not 100% confident in it. But that's part of the fun when this is the first time I've watched the Citadel. And it's also just a broken play, so who knows? Tight formation again. Let's see. Pitch or dive keys coming out. Oof. So this is a zone option. I should have saw that earlier. I'm gonna have to get used to playing with my arrows here, right? So if you're watching along at home, because I forget if you can actually see my cursor or not. Best way to tell zone option is to watch this wide receiver and what he does, and you're gonna see him just come down and maul this guy, and you're gonna have the B back do a token fake. And lead up the hole. So any time that wide receiver's coming down on a D lineman, it's going to be zone option. Out of tight. So what do we got here? This is trips. All right, let's look at this. All right, that's going to be triple. I thought for half a second it might be mid-triple, but... Actually, that is mid-triple. So the reason it's going to be mid-triple, if you watch the quarterback, his footwork, he actually hops backwards. And the left guard isn't actually blocking this guy. He's trying to get underneath. And the dive key is taking him down out of the play, is what I think is going on. Yeah, because also if this were a true triple, this guy would be your read, unless they're considering him a safety that's walked down, but I don't think that's the case. Right? Because where does he end up at the snap? Yeah. So I'm going to call this mid-triple. I know we talked a little earlier, but I forget who did it. I could scroll through the chat and figure out. But we did talk about outside releases by the tackle. This would be that example of why we do that on mid-triple here. And what did I say this was out of trips? Mid triple away from trips is always a nice play, depending on how teams run it. All right, what do we got here? So a heavy right or tackle over. If you watch my videos, I stick with heavy regardless of personnel. That's probably not 100% the right way to do it. Ooh. Interesting. Here, let's look at that first step by the quarterback. I actually think this is triple away from the heavy. Yeah, because the dive key goes outside when the tackle releases outside. A triple, what did I say? What was this heavy? So we got heavy again to the right. We're coming down. I mean, this is going to be triple. You can also tell it's triple. A good way to tell is if that A-back arc steps to the outside. But you'll see these guys get left, or you'll see this guy left unblocked. And then coming down. Yeah. What did I say? This was triple out of heavy, but this is to the triple or to the heavy, not away from the heavy. Yeah. So still in heavy. Ugh. I'm gonna call that QB follow. Helps if I can type. All right, next, what do we got? So we've got a heavy. And then this is tight, right? So you've got your normal guard tackle, whether you want to consider him a tight end or another tackle, and then you've got your X or receiver in tight. It's hard because that defender blows straight through the line, so I don't know what this should have been. Here, what does that wide receiver do off the bat? I mean, that's his own option, I think. Because that guy came through, it's hard to tell whether it's supposed to be a kick or not. Heavy tight, is that what I want to call that? Yeah. So base formation, rocket toss, always good. Did I go right to the end? Good. All right. Now we've got we've got heavy. It's heavy left, or not, excuse me, not heavy left. It's tight left. That's just triple. You can see you've got handoff key, pitch key, arc block, B-back going underneath. I'm just going to call that tight since it was tight on that side. Matt Miller will be quite proud of me as I keep having to watch the quarterback's footwork so I don't accidentally mislabel things midline or mid-triple. We're in base. Tackle's taking an outside release. Still just triple. You would think Georgia Tech had some other answers for this. I don't know how the rest goes. So we'll call this tight again. Receiver's going to outside release.
Backers they couldn't get to. Backers they couldn't get to. Backers they couldn't get. Backers they couldn't get to. Backers they couldn't get to. 45 yards on the previous.
That's also just triple. Oh. What is that out of tight? Yeah. Okay, tight again.
Same kicker here. He kicked a 48-yarder as he tied it up last year.
Ooh, we're gonna need to look at that. Or, excuse me, that should be pass out of tight. So who gets this ball? 22.
Got that same kicker here. He kicked a 48-yarder as he tied it up last year.
So that's just this receiver here. I can't tell what they're trying to do.
He kicked a 48-yarder as he tied it up last year.
Looks like they're trying to do like a flood concept with he was running the far route. You had the other receiver coming underneath and then another one coming about 5 yards below that. But it worked. I am going to take a real quick, how do I want to do this? These are when I get to do fun things on stream where I can do like
Thoughts and prayers.
all right. I'm going to take a hot second. Let me see. Can I change the color of this? Ooh, nope. That green on green is not a smart idea. We'll make it like, that's also not a good idea. I guess I'm making it bright pink. We'll live with that. All right. I'm going to take 2 seconds and feed the dogs, and I'll be back. My bad. Had to feed the dogs and get the Roomba back on her pedestal. Because my Roomba is very whiny when she is not set up well. Okay, so let's look at this formation. So, what did I want to call out here? We have one A back to the right. We've got a B back. The A back who would be here is on the line. And then we're also seeing so he's in as another tackle. And it looks like, if I'm judging this line and where they're lined up correctly, technically he's the other guy on the line of scrimmage. He's off the line. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I guess it does. So what would we call this? This like heavy over? Let's see what they do out of it. Oh, shit. I think it was just zone dive. We don't need that property screen up. This is zone dive. What did I call this? Heavy over. Dog decided to come say hello, so that's always a plus. We'll see if he decides to get angsty and wants to jump in my lap. Oop. Nope, but he will bump my hand while I'm trying to do this. So we're back in base. This is going to be triple. Yeah, so that's just triple out of base. Nothing too exciting. So now we're in tight. Zone option. Zone option out of tight. So now what are we in? We're just in heavy right. I think that's just zone dive. So usually if I'm seeing zone dive, the quarterback's making no attempt to even carry out that fake. Right, he's just handing it off and basically watching him go. Whereas usually if it's triple or anything like that, he's going to try to carry that out. Oh, now Big Dog wants to come say hi. This is what I have to deal with. Getting my face licked. Come on. Ugh. All right. Hopefully, I have no idea if his licking is too obnoxious on the microphone. I'm sure you guys will let me know if it is. Oh, that's right. This is a quick camera pan. So this is heavy, right? Ow. Of course, dog steps right on me. So what am I looking at? Who is unblocked? Oh, wait, is someone... Ooh, actually... This is actually down G. I haven't seen a team other than us run down G in a while. But you'll see that they have 1, 2, 3 guys on the line here. They're going to go, outside guy's going to come down, middle guy's going to come down. The guard is actually going to pull and kick out the guy on the line of scrimmage.
Can't cost your team.
Didn't work out great, but it's a good call whenever you see that play side guard pulling. Apparently, I guess it's because the C and the V key are like right where I can't see where my microphone is, which is probably why I keep hitting them on accident. What do we got here? We got another heavy.
They are 2 for 4 now on 3rd down. It's 2nd and long.
All right, I'm seeing. Where was that guy lined up? So he's lined up way inside, right? So they're reading this guy and they're reading this guy. The footwork doesn't look like mid-triple, but I think that's mid-triple.
It's 2nd and long.
I'm going to call it mid-triple. And again, that's away from the heavy, which I think is always... we got in a bad habit last year of when if we lined up that tight end or that extra guy, right? Like we almost always ran that direction. So it's always good to have those plays that come back the other way, so that you're not giving away that tendency. What are we in now? We're in, I'll call this base.
Ray dancing around. Ray hit at the 40.
Yep, I mean, that's a pass. Probably could have cut that one off earlier. So what is this? This is going to be tight, heavy tight. Is that what I've been calling it?
Remember, it was USF that helped out Georgia Tech last week in this area.
Let's see. Are we actually reading anyone on this play?
Remember, it was USF that helped out Georgia. Remember, it was USF that helped out Georgia Tech last week. Remember, it was USF that helped out.
I actually think this is midline. I think if you watch the block on this guy, the guard isn't straight up blocking him. He's trying to get underneath him, and the read just kind of keeps going with him. And you'll see that the quarterback keeps it and comes around after the guy or after the key makes a play on him. The other reason I say that is you'll see that this A-back winds up turning up.
Helped out Georgia Tech last week in this area in the game.
So it's not a true quarterback hop back. He more takes like one step after the snap to get that ball out, almost square behind the center. And actually we're going to call that midline. Was that heavy tight? Yeah. And we'll call this heavy tight again. So watch this first kind of hop back. It's not a true hop back, but this first step from the quarterback, the midline read is going to be straight and it's going to be quick right off the butt of the center. So the quarterback's going to get out of his way so that he can get the ball on that path. And you'll notice that both of these two guys wind up being unblocked. So that's our mid-triple. Oh, that block was horrible. Who was that? Oh, the arcing A-back completely ruins this play. If you remember the last Kennesaw State game I did, I ranted for probably too long on how good their A-back blocking was. That A-back block was atrocious. And for that block, let's see, do I have something? I think it's this one. Wrong sound effect. It's this one. Shit, nope. There we go. Still working on the soundboard. All right, now we're back in base. This is going to be triple. So I can't tell if this is midline or mid triple because of this guard's block. I can't tell if he just completely whiffs on this guy or he's supposed to be the read. Watch it again. Because it sort of looks like they've got... Maybe not. Maybe the A-back is truly trying to hook this guy. It almost looks like all three of these guys are unblocked, but I think the A-back either slips or tries to make some attempt to like button hook this guy inside. All right, I guess I'm calling it mid triple. This is out of what, base? All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're in tight. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is a trap. Why did this go wrong? You'll see this left guard pulls. I missed who he pulled for. All right, kind of a weird play. I can't tell if they blitzed into it to screw it up. What did I say this was? Tight. We're back in base. Can't tell. I think that's just Kiwi follow. All right, base again. So they must have saw something they liked because they went back to this trap, same left guard pulling. There we go. They finally got it right. Georgia Tech got really into their trap. Paul Johnson's last year. It's a great play if you can run it right. So this is going to be hard due to the angle. This looks to be base. The nice part is it's Rocket, so I know what it is. I can already tell you before the ball is pitched, see this wide receiver that he knows that this guy is going to shoot, and he comes down and takes him, which I think is great. Although that might be what the flag winds up being. We'll have to see. So what was that? That was 3rd and 21. Now we're 3rd and 31, which I'm sure they're doing great. And it's intercepted. All right. Well, due to the interception, that's a big sad trombone. They get the ball back. We're at, what would this be? I guess heavy.
Man in the Georgia Tech game with the interception, then you get the penalty, and then you go the other way. 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 And you're forced to penalty, and then you go.
So I can't tell if this is technically triple or midline. Why I'm not sure. It could be a called tag with the receiver coming down to crack this guy. But they definitely wasn't midline steps. I'm going to call this triple. I might look like an idiot later, but I'll take that. I mean, everything else looked normal on that play. This is bad camera work, but this would have started, what, with a guy there and a guy there. This is just heavy. They spin. I think it was just zone dive. It was a reverse pivot in the backfield, but we can live with that. So we've got heavy to the left, tight to the right. So that's just zone option. I'll call it heavy since it went to the heavy side. Or I'll call it tight since it went to the tight side. Oh, other puppy wants to say hi. He loves getting his butt scratched. He doesn't know he's being famous right now. I mean, as famous as, yeah, low budget YouTube streaming can be, but whatever. All right, heavy, tight. Let's see, is he holding him? So let's see, guard fires out and gets a block trying to grab him. Tackle outside releases. I'm going to guess this is true. Let's see, what does that A back to? I'm going I think that's just triple. I already forgot what this was. Heavy tight. All right, back in base.
On what we're going to stuff on the third down, gave him the first down. Got to be careful and clean here as well.
Ooh, all right.
Gave him the first down. Got to be careful and clean here as well. Gave him the first down. Got to be careful and clean here as well.
So again, they do the pivot in the backfield, but I think this is still zone dive. I got excited for a hot second that maybe it would be like a trap or a down G. They don't have everything they need. Heavy tight. Bad fake. I think it's just Kiwi follow. Out of heavy tight. Ooh. Move, puppy. Excuse me. All right. Base formation. This is looking like a counter probably right off the bat. No. I think this is mid-triple. Because if you watch, this guy is unblocked and this guy is unblocked. It just looks really sloppy for some reason. And I don't know if the quarterback should have kept it. Or this is that same... I don't know. I'm still sticking with mid-triple. I don't know. It's tough. Someone will yell at me for what I'm supposed to do. What was this out of? Base. Ah, poop. See anything good? Nope. Just Twitter likes. So let's see here. We've got base. We got triple. Ooh, all right, quick pitch. So base. So this is triple. One thing I want to point out is if you watch the blocking, so you've got your offensive tackle is looping outside and you've got your A back. So they're both coming around this corner, and watch them pass this block off because they both know ultimately what they want to accomplish. And so this guy steps over, gets in the way, tackle first makes contact. The A-back is able to overtake that block because he has a better angle. And once the A-back is able to overtake and commit to that block, the tackle can then move forward and move on to the next level. That's exactly how you should be teaching that. That comes into play a lot on things like Rocket as well. What did I say? This is a triple out of base? Yeah. All right, we've got trips, right? Both A-backs on the same side. Let's see, let's look at that first step by the quarterback. Mid triple, away from the trips. Very, very deadly if you can pull it off. What I also really like about this, I believe it's going to be the block from this play side wide receiver. I think, is he the one that comes down and seals it? Oh no. Oh God, this is so smart. I love this. I was way wrong. So it's actually this tackle loops outside. Everyone sucks down for the midline. So he loops and he just sits because he knows the ball is going to be pitched quick to get out there on mid triple. And he's able to pin his guy inside to give his guys a chance to run outside. This is great. And so right there, look, head upfield, right, being able to take on that linebacker, completely zeroing him out of the play, and not only that, but basically get in the way of these three guys who are trying to go in pursuit as well. It's a pretty nice play. All right, what do we got here? Apologies, I've got the dog licking my hand. Missed the formation. Come on, give me half a snap. There we go. 1, 2, tight. So we got tight right here. And just a pass. Easiest plays for me to do since I don't pay huge attention to them. All right, now what? Let's see. Base. Ooh. He was running this whole time. That's QB follow. Again, part of what makes the offense great is that all the plays kind of look the same. The hard part for me is that all the plays kind of look the same. You know, just I'm going to overuse the hell out of this soundboard.
I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
Doesn't quite make sense, but I also love that clip. I think I need to make more Tiger King gifs and sounds. So maybe you can expect that on the next stream. We're back in base. And that's a pass. Oh, because we're right up at the end of the half. That's why. All right, back in base. Ooh.
Tech. Ready to kick. The 12-yard line of Georgia Tech. Ready to kick. Vontae Smith at the goal line.
So I think they're calling this like triple crack because that wide receiver is coming down every time because it's not truly a midline. I'm not going to put triple crack. I'm just going to call it triple out of base. It was base, right? Yep. But I like that adjustment because we've seen him run it a lot. So now we're at the beginning of the third quarter. We've got heavy to both sides.
This offense, and you march down all the way and eat up 13 minutes on the clock here to end the third quarter. First things first, you got to get a first down. Clock here to end the third quarter. First things first, you got to get a first.
Yeah, and that's zone option. We're going to heavy to both sides again.
5 for 8 on third down, but in for the Citadel. Out of Charleston, South Carolina, at the Southern Conference.
Pretty sure it's just a zone dive. It's a little hard to tell from that angle. And I still have a puppy sitting on my arm, so if my mousing becomes erratic, that's why. We're in tight. This is midline. You know it's midline. This guy is unblocked. You'll see him come straight across the line and they run underneath him. Man. Time is at 6:44. Tight again.
Nice big chunk of on first down. Big chunk of on first down. Chunk of on first down. Chunk of on first down.
Let's look at that first step. I think this is just triple. Triple out of tight. Back in tight again.
On the clock in the third.
Let's see, is anyone unblocked?
Clock in the third. Clock in the third.
So no one's unblocked. I think that's a legit QB follow. What did I say? Was this base? Nope, it was tight. That poop was tight. All right. Tight again.
Right after that touchdown to tie it. How about for that touchdown to tie it? How about for that touchdown to tie it? How about this, Lindsay?
So they just keep running this QB follow with the same blocking scheme as zone dive. And it's really nice because they're just not blocking those guys that are waiting outside on option. Got to remember that and keep that in my back pocket for this coming season. Tight again. That's going to be zone option.
Kids there too, a couple years ago. That was
Nice little zone option. Yikes, not 3 lines. All right, tight again.
They gotta help to set that edge. On the outside. That edge on the outside.
That's just regular zone dive. There's nothing crazy about that. There's no read going on. Tight again.
See what's been going on there in camp in those first 2 games.
I think that's just midline because the tackle comes out on number 2. Again, quarterback's footwork's throwing me off a little bit. I don't know if that's actually what it is, but I'm sure, again, Matt Miller, if you're watching or watching later, you'll yell at me for it. Tight. Again, they're just loving this QB follow behind the zone dive. Sorry, puppy's taking the head. I actually don't even need the headphones. Joke's on you guys. I haven't needed headphones the whole time. What'd I say? Not midline. This is QB follow. Because Georgia Tech is so committed to guarding that outside and having their reads going to the outside, when they run zone dive with the QB follow underneath, it forces those guys to have to be disciplined and stay outside, and then they can run underneath and get the extra blocker on the follow. So base. Ooh, hold on. Counter option. I can tell you that right away because you can look at this pulling guard right off the snap. So we should see, I believe, this A-back turn around and get a block probably. No, that's probably the pitch guy. Well, let's see what happens. Ooh. Yep, they run right underneath. That was I don't know if that was intended to go that way. It's a great play. Again, I don't know if they actually want that counter option to go inside. That's not typically how you draw it up, but you can't argue with that result. So this is going to be tight right. Let's see, is anyone unblocked? No, they're just, again, QB following. I don't know who this Citadel QB is, but they have a lot of faith in him just running forward like Georgia Tech used to have with Tommy Oliver. Was it Tommy Oliver, or is that the Green Ranger from Power Rangers? I definitely think I mixed those two up. I can't remember if base or tight. We'll call this tight. I'm sure someone will remind me in chat who's the Georgia Tech quarterback. Actually, I should probably check this out. Oh, Tobias Oliver. I was close. It's been a while since I've had to watch Georgia Tech games. Oops. We'll call this base. This is going to be a counter, I can tell you, because of the pulling guard.
Just did get it away at the last second. And Joe.
So what I say, counter option. This was base. Again, been real lonely in the chat. First half, I feel like we flew by because we were having a good little conversation. Now you just have me rambling about whatever play I'm watching and hopefully getting right. We got base.
They're going to get it more.
Rocket toss with great blocking. We got base. Again, zone dive with that rocket pivot. If there was a pulling guard, I might call it bellied, but I don't think it is. What is this? We've got... Oh, man. I've been staring at the screen. I almost need to get my nerd glasses out. You know what? Screw it. I'm too young. I don't want my eyes to go bad. We'll bust out the nerd glasses. No, it looks super cool. Considering how much I'm staring at this screen, it's probably not a bad idea. So we're in base. We're a little tight up to the right. Is this just zone dive again? Oh, hey, puppy. Let's see. Is anyone pulling? Alright. I think it's just zone dive. Out of base. Now we're base again. Let's look at that first step. Oof. Yikes. I think based on everything I've seen before, that's supposed to be midline. Based on that first quarterback step. Tight right. I mean, that was a penalty. I think that was zone option. It's been tough. I haven't seen a true kick look from the Citadel. And I don't know if they coach it different or if I'm just not seeing something. It could be either of those things. Oh, good. We don't have a ton of plays left. All right, we've got base. Ooh, rocket toss again with great blocking. I love rocket toss if you can get it blocked. We've had so much trouble getting the perimeter blocked with like sophomores trying to block freshmen in the last 2 years. Did I say base? I'm so ADD tonight. Yeah. Base again. Zone dive. Again, they really like zone dive with that reverse pivot. It's, I mean, as a coach, it's the same thing as running it normally, just the quarterback's more taking their same rocket steps, get that pivot action to try to freeze the outside defenders, which appears to be working, which is why they keep running it. And you can also run the QB follow off of it. This is base.
Make a big play. Get it back in the hands of...
He's...
Make a big play. Get it back in the hands of your offense.
That's just QB follow. Actually, was that?
Make a big play. Get it back in the hands of your offense.
Yeah, not really. I was looking to see if it was more of like a wing T like down play, where if the B back actually kicked out number one, but I don't think it was actually drawn up that way. All right, base. They're living in this QB follow, which if you have faith in your quarterback, I'm not going to complain about. We're a little tight on the right.
You want to see them lunging across the line. They're taking it to them. Across the line. Instead of taking it across the line. Instead of taking it...
I think that's QB follow. There doesn't look like there's anyone unblocked. I mean, Citadel is really just running down the field, like right down their throat, which is exactly what Paul Johnson used to do at Georgia Tech. Like, they should really know exactly what this is and how to defend it, but they didn't, which is kind of shocking, but, you know, whatever. That's what they get. Base. Rockets. Yeah, base rocket toss. Apparently I somehow did that play already. I'm sure I'll look back and see I screwed something up. We're in base. Ooh, that was quick. This is a mess up here. And I can't tell if this is supposed to be a speed option or what. Both of these guys are looking for the pitch. I'm going to call that speed option because it looks like a B speed. It was definitely, it was a blown assignment somewhere. Or sorry, not B speed. That's what I would call it. We'll call it speed option. And this was out of base. Thanks for sticking with me, people that are still watching. We've got a few more plays here left to wrap up. I'll spare you from me doing the like graphic design part because that's not really that interesting. So we got tight, heavy left, tight right. Just zone option. Heavy left, tight right. I think that, let's look at that first step again. Yeah, I think that was midline. I also think that was a missed read. I'll call it heavy since it was to the heavy side. I'll be nice. By that I mean lazy. So again, heavy left, tight right again. Call that zone option. All right, heavy left, tight right again. Quick spin. That's going to be a zone dive. I don't know what I said. That was for the heavy side, so I'll call that heavy. Again, the nice part about me streaming these and posting them is if you want to see what I'm actually, why I'm thinking what I'm doing on these plays, and you're like, well, that's heavy left, tight right. Why do you call it heavy on one and tight on the other? And it's like, nah, that's the way the play went. That's the part that really matters. We're back in base. Oh, all right. Where is this? All right, so this is our tight left guy getting it on a reverse.
Back out there to Brian Murdoch. He's in charge now. We're going to go the other direction. Raleigh Webb.
Love a good reverse. Reverses in this offense are either incredible or get blown up for huge negative yardage, which I guess is always the case when you run a reverse. Very rarely do you get that reverse for, 5 yards. All right, last few plays here of regulation. Base.
Big first down here for the Citadel. And the Bulldogs are now
I believe
the Citadel.
that's triple. Offensive tackle completely whiffed his block. I don't think it's worth showing you again. I did say I got him. EDD. Tight to both sides.
Three. Murdoch has a hole.
That's QB follow. All right, tight again.
Chance. There's that target line.
Thing that's just zone dive out of tight. Let's see. Now we are still in the fourth.
Away from Godek's
Oh. So I'll point this out. I know I was kind of cruising at the end because we're wrapping this up. But do notice that we have 1, 2, 3. We've got a heavy right. Our guy is in tight. And this is also, so what would this be? This would be heavy trips, heavy bunch. I could probably call it anything. I think I've been calling this heavy tight. Heavy tight bunch sounds like or heavy trips. How do I want to phrase that? Heavy tight bunch? Ugh. I hate that many words in a formation. I'm going to call it heavy tight bunch or heavy trips bunch, tight bunch. Bunch would imply they're all together. We'll go heavy bunch. Heavy trips bunch. Ugh. Word vomit. Watch the play not even be that cool.
Range. That target line you see there in red.
Let's see, what did that tight guy do?
See there in red.
I think that's just zone option. There might be a kick in there, but it didn't really look great. So I sat there debating it. I said heavy trips bunch. All right. last play of regulation. So now this is just 1, 2, 3, 4. What do I call it? Super heavy? Like, I don't know. Like, they're just running the ball. I'm calling it super heavy because I can. What does that wind up being? And we'll call it QB follow. He wasn't even reading anything. QB follow. We're calling it, what I'd say, super heavy. Even though it's away from the ball, that's what they're, or the play. So we're back. This is the first play of overtime. 1, 2, 3, heavy tight. QB follow. And then we've got heavy tight-ish. Let's see, is anyone pulling? Zone dive out of heavy tight. And then our last play, which again, 1, 2, 3. What is this? Is this heavy tight left again? Yeah, then just zone dive again. All right. Well, that is the game. So for Georgia Tech, after getting rid of the flex bone, we've got a big thoughts and prayers for you. My apologies here. Let's throw a sad trombone. And I don't think they're going this year, and I haven't played this sound effect, so let's try the...
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Love it. Thank you, Jim Mora. I do not think Georgia Tech is going to go to the playoffs this year, if they happen. So let's finish up this video. For those of you that have been watching me, it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. Hell yeah. It's a lot of me talking, which my wife can't handle that. I'm glad you guys can. So let's put a quick, we need to put our background in. And we got to make sure the background is the right size. The dog's breath is terrible. All right, so we've got it big enough. Let's make sure. I usually set the back or the end screen to be about 10 minutes. So, or 10 minutes, Jesus, that would be a really long end screen. 10 seconds, just so the cards at the end, if you don't watch the end of the video, the subscribe and playlist stuff pops up. Now we need to finish off the thumbnail for the video / the front screen. So we need to get that done. So let's open this. This is not kind of, oh, you know what? I don't have a Citadel background. I don't even know what the Citadel logo looks like. Ow, dog. Citadel logo. The graphic standards manual of the Citadel. I like this one, I think. So we need a new... Man, I guess I'll do a little bit of graphic design. I've got like 15 minutes before I got to play trivia with my friends. So let's, we'll create a new slide. Let's add our logo to it. What is this? The South Carolina flag is... Right, it's just that. So that doesn't really help me a whole lot for inspiration. Citadel doesn't do anything like cool with their football jerseys, do they? They're just kind of like normal. What is that stuff they have on the shoulders? Ad blocker. Of course I have an ad blocker. I feel like I have some South Carolina friends. I should bother about this for like what I should use for this. What's okay, let's get the one off the state flag. So let's copy this image. If you want to see my completely awful what's the word I'm looking for? PowerPoint graphic design skills, right? So we want to deal with our background. For our background, let's make it a light blue. Oh. Hold on. It's been 2 hours. Gotta repause the Slack notifications before my friends realize they can see things on stream. So we want our dropper. We want to do the, I guess, is it, can I call it Carolina blue? Is that all right? How else do I want to play with this? Let's do some removing this background. That's like about right. And I want it. Oh, how creative did I want to be? I don't know anything about the Citadel. I have no idea how to do this. Maybe we'll do like... I hate this, but it's easy. It also kind of reminds me of my fraternity flag, which I, again, don't know if that's a plus or a minus. Oh, wait, I'm a dummy. Let's do... Let's get rid of these. I do want to add, let's insert. I want to solid fill this with that, but I also want to make this like transparent. Let's make this less transparent. Yeah, that's about right. All right, let's get that logo gone. And poop. Come on. All right, we'll get these trees all across the back here because I am a classy individual, sort of. Apologies if you hear the dog whining. As you can tell, they're a little needy. And I don't know, screw it. That's about right. Let's bring this to front. We'll play Georgia Tech. Does Georgia Tech have a nerdy logo? Of course they do, right? I've done this enough times. Let's not do. Yeah, get wrecked. You get the nerdy Georgia Tech logo unless I can find a different one. Nah, that's what they get. Ah, and they didn't remove the background. I hate when people do this. Removing background and choosing areas to keep is a really nice little trick. I still don't really know how to do it. I just kind of draw lines until I get what I want. Let's see, did I get everything? I think I did. Wait! Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna tentatively turn my mic volume down. I apologize that the dogs are going nuts. What was I gonna do? One second. All right, we got all that. Now we just need the offensive stuff. Does it have the outline? I don't want the outline on the trees. How would I do this? That. Okay, that didn't get... Oh, all right. Now I know what I need to do because what we're seeing is the outline on the... what is over the top of them. So we want to go to the lines. Let's go no lines. No lines. Huh. What is giving me that? That's weird. There we go. Okay. Now this is all starting to make sense now. So I should have done that before copying and pasting all of my blue boxes that go around. So once I remove the lines, that will make a lot more sense and not look quite as ugly. Just moderately as ugly. Then we can move this back here. We can move Buzz over. It's not the prettiest, but for doing it in like 10 minutes on stream, we'll take it. So now what do I need to do? I need to export this as a ping. Let's bring this up. and add this here. Add that to the media, and then bring the timeline over. Let's zoom in. Oop, wrong in. Bring that, oh, there we go. There's my cursor. So come all the way over. And we want this here for about, what do I usually say, 5 seconds in the beginning. And then let's bring this back. Now I'm going to do a little cheating task, highlight all of that, and bring it back to buttress. And we need to make sure our logo is... Thanks, dog. This is Wells, my puppy. Hey, watch the nerd glasses. All right, we have our offensive play for the Citadel. Congrats to the Citadel for Georgia Tech. Probably should have done better. We'll give you another. Ah, shoot. Oh, I highlighted something I shouldn't have. There we go. There's my sound effect, and we'll also give you a, Herm.
Hello? You play to win the game.
All right. Well, I hope you had as much fun dealing with the sound effects and going through this video as I did. I am going to turn the stream off and start uploading this, and thanks to Xfinity, it takes much longer than it used to. So you should see this video at some time tonight. As always, like, subscribe, do all that like hokey YouTube stuff and streamer stuff. I think at this point I'm 97,000 subscribers away from a YouTube trophy. So we'll keep on that good fight. And I believe I will have some time to stream later on this week.